Hi everyone, welcome back to the Denied by the Crossbar podcast. I'm Daryl, your host, and I'm with Lee. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. It's game week 7. It was full of late winners, injury scares, and shifts at the top of the table. Catch much matches, watch much football, Lee.
Yep, got a few of them in. Watch Fulham play abysmal, and then watch some other teams. It's always nice to be a neutral fan watching other games of football throughout the weekend. So managed to get some good goals soon.
Yes, some decent games to be honest. But right, we'll start with Arsenal. Arsenal got off with a composed 2-0 win against West Ham in Mikel Arteta's 300th game. They did well. They look like they're on a run. Got a couple of wins going now. They're top of the table. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, like they're on a bit of a run now, aren't they? Riding on their high that they've built up throughout the start of the season, and also playing a team that, although West Ham haven't looked that good, Nuno's in, changing it up a little bit. They did look better in defence, which is, not that much praise to give a team that looked so poor previously, but any improvement's an improvement. They weren't going into this game thinking they were going to win it. But I don't know. I think the 2-0 maybe made it look a little bit of a better game for Arsenal than it actually was when you think about the penalty. And then West Ham did have some chances, just not a lot. I think that it's one of them games that Arsenal just took advantage of the fact that they were playing a weaker side at the moment and got the win, like you say, climb up the table, and then they're now top, aren't they? Clear by a point, are they?
They are clear by the point. But I thought West Ham did quite well because before that, you would think they're going there to get thumping. You really would. You think they're going to get smashed, really. So I know it sounds bad, a 2-0 loss, but it's not that bad. There were encouraging signs. So Nuno's obviously getting his idea across. I think if that was a Potter team, I could have seen the 4-0 plus.
Yeah, I think like with Nuno, we all know how he plays the counter-attacking style. That's something that's got to be introduced into a squad. So it's going to take a little bit of time. I reckon in a couple of weeks, it would have been a much more interesting game where West Ham have been able to develop a little bit, do a little bit work on off the pitch, and perhaps they would have been able to play in the transitions, get a nice counter-attack going. But for his introduction, playing against Arsenal, obviously, like I just said, it's a bit of a write-off game for West Ham, so I think they did all right. But yeah, fair play to West Ham. I think they're going to be a lot better in the coming weeks. Like they're definitely going to do better under Nuno than they were under Potter.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be better days to come, But Arsenal, I was quite shocked with Arteta. He went out of a really attacking formation. When I saw this at the lineup, he went with Declan Rice holding, and he had Eze and Odegaard both to go forward as attacking eights.
Obviously,
so quite interesting.
You didn't get to see 90 minutes of what he envisioned because Odegaard's come off injured, but it was interesting to see taking advantage, like I said, taking advantage of West Ham. They're going out there showing we're the big team. Be afraid of us. We're going to come at you, sort of thing. So it's good. It's good that they've come out with that. Obviously, It's a shame that Odegaard's taken the knock.
Like we said in the podcast before, it's nice seeing that attacking mindset. He's gone out there with an attacking mindset to try and dominate the game as a big team,
Yeah.
So, it was interesting. Arsenal climbed top of the table, like you said, but it was a bit tarnished by the old injury to Odegaard. We'll see how long he's on for. He's meant to be out for a few weeks, but we'll wait and see on that one. Chelsea versus Liverpool. Chelsea, there's always drama in this game. Chelsea hit at 96 or 97th minute winner, Esteval, the youngster, 18-year-old, getting his stamp on the game at the end. Jeez.
Yeah, Liverpool fans find out what it feels like to drop.
That's 2 in a row. I'm dying here. I'm dying.
Funny that, isn't it? 2 in a row going against you now. It's funny. I said to my mate, we had a couple of drinks early Saturday, and I said to him, he's a Chelsea fan. I said, look, I think if you're going to play Liverpool, you play them now. Like, you go and give them a game because you've gone on such a high to then have 2 losses on a bounce. And everyone's been saying, like, oh, it's been coming. Like, Liverpool have looked a bit rocky at the back and whatnot. Well, take away your goalkeeper from an injury as well. Add that to the rockiness that you've been having at the back. And I think when a goal like their first is scored, it just changes a game. Like Moises Salcedo, what a goal! And then what a way to exactly, but like, what are you meant to do, sort of thing, in a situation like that? So it's like a 3-1-0, isn't it? They get that goal, and the game doesn't look like it is necessarily deserved to be 1-0 at the time. But when you score a goal like that, an absolute wonder goal, it rocks the game quite drastically.
I tell you what you do. You don't go diving in like Alexis McAllister and get there a split second late and miss the ball, and then Alexis is, and then
miss.
I say those three. You know, it was a lot better than the Crystal Palace game. It wasn't as open. Like I said, we got dominated in that game in the first half. It wasn't that bad. Chelsea had chances, so did we. It was an open game to a point, but after they scored that goal, they kind of dominated the game. We came back into the game, but we didn't look as defensively frail as we did the week before, which was worrying. Yeah. Once again, he started. Conor Bradley looked shaky. I've said it before. I don't think he's top class yet. I remember when Trent was leaving, people said, "Oh, he'd easily." Remember they had the Mbappe game where he took Mbappe out, and it was like, "Oh, he will replace Trent. No worries." Listen, let's be honest. He's not even near. I think he's like a mid-table defender watching him play. It's like mid-table. It sounds really rude. He's not ready.
Yeah.
He's just not ready. He just looks exposed. He got taken off again just after half time, or for half time. So Boslai went to the right back again, and you're still thinking, you know, that's just, to me, that just means it's another bad starting lineup from Slot. You know,
yeah. Doing earlier changes obviously is like admitting you've made a mistake. Yeah,
and then Kirkes gets taken off for Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson gets caught at the end for the goal, which is hard when someone comes in the back of you. You know that, but I just think that at the moment, because I've said to you on other pods that we need that, we're dying for that defensive and orthodox DM. Gravenberch keeps running out, and it's now in that last game. It looked like McAllister was playing as a DM. McAllister doesn't look fit. He doesn't look sharp. Yeah. He's a warrior, but he's not a good tackler. You know what I mean? He's there in that position.
We said it before, didn't we? Like you've bought like real high quality, but just not where fans were shouting out for it. So now you're playing McAllister out of position in a role that isn't his role, but it's all right because you've got Ekitike and Isak. But
no, it's not.
That doesn't then help. Yeah. So it's a weird one. I think fair play to Chelsea. They've just come out and really given you a game there. And Esteval, I mean, that's one way to get your name out in the Premier League, isn't it? Yeah. Fair play to that guy, because it's got to be a weird one to come into as a Brazilian. People give you all of these, you know, the next Neymar, the next whatever you might be called. So it's got to be a lot of pressure on your shoulders. But yeah, he's been doing well. He looks fantastic. He looks so fun, beating the man, dribbling past him, and then to win the game.
To be honest.
Yeah, he looks good.
But yeah, like I was saying before, it's just McAllister looks like it doesn't look fit. So they look like they're just, I don't know. I think the problem with the team is, I think he's gone and bought these two attacking wing backs, but now he's trying to curb that.
Yeah, well, it's overcommitment in attack.
It's an attacking left back, but he doesn't want him to attack because the team's so vulnerable. So it's causing problems all around. He didn't start Frimpong because he's scared of Frimpong's two attacking. So you've bought these two attacking players, but you don't want to play them now because you're worried because you're so exposed.
Yeah, so you're too committed in attack.
Yeah, you're putting on Conor Bradley, who's an attacking fullback, but you want him not to attack. So his strongest point is not getting utilized, and his defensive capability is getting exposed by the other team. You know, it's a bit strange. The midfield was better. Wirtz came on in the second half, and he looked a lot better. I think anything we had attacking going forward was through him, so he was a bright spark for us. But we got back into the game, but like you said, Saicedo at the end, Esteval at the end, getting his goal.
Yeah.
And listen, the last 20 minutes, we could have won it. They could have won it. It could have gone either way. So it is what it is. I would have taken the draw, you know. But Maresca got sent off at the end. He's going to be missing for one of the, I think, a couple of games. Got sent off for celebrating. He did a run down the touchline, jumped on his players, got sent off, mate. Well, it was quite funny.
You should be allowed to run and celebrate.
But I don't understand what the red card was. It coming out of your area? Do you think, or was it just because he celebrated? I didn't understand why it was a red card. I was a second yellow.
It's just a second yellow. Yeah, right. I think it's the running out. I don't know. honestly, it's silly, isn't it? Because he's a human being. His whole job revolves around getting results. It's a
Emotions.
last minute goal. Like, what are you doing? It's the same as taking a shirt off. Like, if you're going to take your shirt off every time you score, I think book them. But when it's a key moment and there's a reason, that it's a passionate thing, let it happen. It's the same thing as running down the touchline. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, but it's a good win. It's a big win for Chelsea. Their results have been indifferent recently, inconsistent. And we were talking last week on the pod that, not saying he was under pressure, but because he's got credit in the bank, but it was starting to look. The Chelsea fans were starting to be getting a bit frustrated with his tactics, with this. So he got his win. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yeah.
Worked out in the end. Right, we'll move on to Everton, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace lost in the dying minutes until an injury time. Jack Grealish winner. They lost 2-1.
Yeah, well, I think Palace would have been going into the first half, after the first half, sorry, going into the second half, thinking they'd won the game, 1-0 up, looked good in the first half. But they've always made 2 slight changes. He brought off Dibbling, put on Alcaraz, and he brought Beto on. And from there, it was a different game of football. How well thought out from Moyes. He obviously saw what he needed to see in the first half, made them tweaks. And look, he's come back from 1-0 down, won the game. It's sort of a better involvement in the Grealish goal at the end. I think it was Beto's chance that was then deflected into Grealish.
Yeah.
So, it was, involved in that, and then a nice penalty. But I think I've said it, you've said it, and a lot of people keep looking at it like Jack Grealish, what he's been doing, how big of an impact he's had at Everton, but just in general in the Premier League, and then David Moyes at Everton as well. West Ham let that guy go.
Yeah, you just sit there and you worry what's going on at West Ham. Obviously, they've got Nuno in, so it's a different story. But you see that David Moyes flourishing. He hasn't even spent that much money, so it's not like he's gone to Everton and spent 200 million and he's built his squad.
No, it's tactical.
Tactical.
He's done it's tactical.
Yeah, little tweaks here and there, and like you said, he's doing really well.
This is the thing, though. When it's not just against whoever, this is against Oli Glasner. This is against Crystal Palace, who are unbeaten in almost pushing 20 19. At this point.
Yeah,
19. So yeah, they're really pushing for it. And Everton are good, but historically, the last couple of seasons they've struggled, and this is a real rebuild of Everton. Even if it's not, I don't mean rebuild in terms of personnel, but the David Moyes bringing in a player like Jack Grealish, tactical change, new stadium. They're looking better. They're definitely growing.
They're on the up. They're on the up. How high do you reckon Everton can finish this season with David Moyes? What he's doing now?
I think we said it might have been a live stream. We were talking about it. I think we said top 8. I still think that. I think realistically, as we get towards Christmas, I think we'll see it a little bit more like a bit of a better example of what the league looks like. But towards the end of the season, I'm not sure what their fixture list looks like. You can always see a team just go on a bit of a run. All you need is 4 or 5 good results all in a row towards the end of the season. If you're in and around it and you'll qualify for Europe, however that works out, we'll have to find out. We'll end up with 8 Champions League spots probably.
Half the leagues in Europe. That's like last season.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace will be very disappointed they lost that game. I know Glasgow must have been fuming because in the first half when they were 1-0 up, Mateta got through and he should have scored. Made it 2-0, game's finished. You just know 2-0. I couldn't see him come back from 2-0. I think he had a couple of opportunities, but one of them was a really good opportunity. So, they'll be a bit annoyed. They should have at least got a draw out the game when Everton came back into it, But Everton showed great character. Crystal Palace lose then on their 20th game, 19th unbeaten. So, they did it. They did it to us last week, a couple of weeks ago. Last minute winners is ruling the day at the moment. Every week we're having one,
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a fitness thing. Maybe it's a mentality drop. But it's weird that it does seem to be quite consistent throughout other teams. It's not one team keeps losing on the 90th minute. It's consistent it's mixing and matching as well, because obviously Liverpool, you've been doing so well at the start of the season, winning games at the end, and then to lose 2 on the bounce in the late minutes, it's very odd. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this carries on throughout the season.
That's got to be like a mentality or like a lazy mind. They're switching off at the end of the games. That's 2 times in 2 weeks for Liverpool now.
Yeah,
they're switching off. Or are they content with the draws? Both times they've got back into the game.
Off. Do you know what I think it could also be? And I know this might sound really silly, the complete opposite. And it's almost like you're too aware of it. And this sounds a bit weird, but like you're so aware that it can happen that you start overthinking what you're doing, and then you become complacent in your defence, and you lose that man because you're so focused on, if I lose that man, we concede now, that's on me. I know these are professional football players. They should have a much stronger mindset and mentality.
Still plays on the mind, though. Still plays on the mind. I know what you mean.
But this is the thing. It only has to be one player on a team to cause that issue. So, I don't know. Yeah, it is weird that it has been quite consistent throughout the season so far.
Yeah. We'll have to see if the late winners continue. Newcastle look like they're back to winning ways. They're catching a bit of momentum now. They look like their old selves again. They've got a good striker, Nick Automate, scoring goal. Did you see his pen, Lee?
I did. And what a pen. Seriously. That's got to be one of the best pens I've seen in the Premier League for a long time. Perfect placement.
If not the best, it was an amazing pen. It was a bit of a strange one because he didn't, you've seen top bin pens, but they come and lash it into the corner. He didn't.
Yeah. No run up. Very little run up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been really impressed with Walter Marda. They've got a striker scoring goals. Obviously, I've been keeping an eye on him because of Isak came to us. And I think that's 6 and 7 now, if anything.
Yeah, and he looks to be consistent as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know he reminds me, he's so tall. He's like you'd think he's like a Peter Crouch kind of figure. Mate, he's so good on the floor, drops short sometimes, plays it off, and he's got good feet. I think I saw a compo of him from a Newcastle fan. And he's taking on 2 or 3 of them, turning, twisting, and you're thinking, mate, you're 6'6".
I honestly think it was like the best season for him to move because so many strikers have come into the Premier League that he kind of went under the radar a little bit. People were talking a lot about Sesko. Oh, when's Sesko going to score? He's just come in, scored on his debut, and then no one could say anything. And then from there, he scored. I think there was a 0-0, wasn't there? So apart from that, he just keeps scoring. So no one's ever... Yeah, exactly. But no one's ever been able to say anything because he's just been scoring. He's only scored 1 in the games. He's not scoring hat-tricks all the time, but it doesn't matter, does it? So
it's consistent. And I was quite interested because I remember when I think Bayern bid about 50. Remember, he only had a good second half of the season. Because they were saying, he's worth that money. So when Newcastle bid 70 plus, I actually saw a quote from a Bayern executive when it was like, oh, they've overpaid. Doesn't look like it right now.
Not if he stays doing this.
Great start to his Newcastle career, But yeah, they're looking good. Tell you what, though, Bruno Guimaraes is an absolute amazing player. He is to me. Incredible. He is at the moment. There's a lot. Is Salcedo the best centre midfielder in the Premier League? I've got to go Guimaraes. My choice. I'm taking him over Salcedo. He is the complete midfielder. We're not talking about tackle. We're talking about your complete all-round midfielder.
Yeah.
Salcedo is probably a better DM, but if we're talking as a whole, going forward, defending, tackling, just inventiveness. He scored once and made one for the pen,
Yeah. It's the passion and the work rate on top of it. Not only is he good, but he loves Newcastle. And he just looks so good playing in that shirt. Like he looks like a Newcastle player. When he's on the pitch, he's so Newcastle. I think it's great. But he looked fantastic. And as soon as he scored, it completely changed Forest. There's so many issues at that club at the moment. And they look like they went into that game so committed to defending 5 at the back sort of tactic. And then it was almost like Newcastle just had to whittle them down, got the goal, and then the game changed from there. I don't think Forest ever had a game plan to actually score in that game, it seemed like.
Well, what can we say about Ange? What's that, 7 games in total in all comps now that he's not had a win? The pressure's starting to mount. Yeah. And I think it makes a big difference when like, okay, Potter's having a bad time, so Nuno goes in. It's always going to be a bit better. They've got rid of Nuno. I'm not saying they were on a high because they didn't start the season great, but they've just had an amazing best season they've had in 35 years in the Premier League. So he's coming in under pressure to do well. It's not looking good. Yeah. It is. If I heard a Nottingham Forest fan on the phone 2 days ago, and he was so pissed off. He was like, "What?" He said, "We're going to get relegated." He said that. He said, "This guy."
It looks bad.
It's starting to look really bad. I think the fans were booing him at the end. Yeah. That is not good.
The thing is, though, is like the joke of Ange was sort of that like overly committed in attack, high line, all of this. I mean, he didn't do that against Newcastle.
But you've got Chris Wood looks missing. That squad was built around Chris Wood and that counter-attacking system, like you said. Chris Wood looks like a lost striker. It's like he doesn't know what to do, but he's in the wrong position at the wrong times. He's trying to ask him to do things that he's not really, not being rude respect, not capable of doing, if you know what I mean. That's not his game, you know? And he looks like a shadow of himself. The team just look lost. They look like they're all void of ideas. I don't know if it's taken him that long to get his ideas across, or he's not getting his ideas across properly.
Yeah.
But he had a decent, I know they had injuries, but a decent Tottenham team finished 16th or 17th.
I was about to say this. And so you look at that Tottenham team now, and obviously fitness was an issue to an extent. But when you look at how good Tottenham currently look, and I think they look so much better than last season, no offence to Forest, but I don't think their team, man for man, is better than Tottenham. So to expect them to get performances from Ange when he couldn't do it with Tottenham, why would anyone be surprised that he can't do it with Forest? Because it's a worse team in the same league.
And this is the problem.
What did they expect?
What did they expect? Because he's still riding this Europa League win.
I know.
But did you on that Europa League win? Did you see the teams that they were beating? It's not like, I know they beat United in the final, which is the worst final I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's all well and good that he did that. Cool, okay. But then if you're performing so bad in the Prem when he did it, and then you're going to Forest, where now we've seen enough games with him at Forest to see what he's doing. This Newcastle game was such an example. 5 at the back looked like a really deep line. Ange plays a high line, so high, in fact, that his last defender stands pretty much on the halfway line.
On the halfway line, yeah.
I don't know if he's gone against his own philosophy, which it looks like he has, which is never good, because obviously as a manager, you have a style in which you want to play. He's not doing that. So if he's gone against his own philosophy, he's not going to get anywhere with this, because this isn't what he wants to do. And if it's not that and he's trying to adapt, you don't adapt now. You have a squad. The window's not open. You've got to play with the squad that you've got. Like you said about Chris Wood. If you're thinking lump the ball and let him run onto it, that's not the right guy for it.
It's not happening.
Not when you've seen how Nuno can use Chris Wood to basically exploit the Premier League's defence because of that guy's power and strength and height. It's a real weird one, and I don't think Ange is going to be there for very long.
So you reckon he's going to be the first manager to be sacked in the Prem? Well, second?
Second.
Yeah,
and Forest could be the one to do first and second. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird one.
Have you seen any interviews with him, though? Have you seen his demeanour? He looks like a broken man already. You know, like at the end of his Tottenham tenure, he's been a bit like, a bit dismissive and a bit...
yeah.
He's like that now.
Yeah, he is.
I heard him. Really, he's like that now, and it's been 7 games, and you're thinking...
No.
Mate, it's been 7 games. His head's down like that, talking like, I can't be bothered. I'm just, I'm just going to crack on and just push on. And you're like... You sound like you're going to get sacked, mate.
But it is really weird when you look at the players. Like, they've still got these players. Elliot Anderson looked fantastic last season. Yeah. He looked so good in the England youth that he's been promoted into the senior team. All of that. And then you're looking at him week in, week out. He's not there anymore. It's not the same football player. It's so telling on the manager, because we're looking at the players that we know perform. This isn't a team that have just been promoted and we didn't see them. Last year, we watched them play football and we watched them qualify for European football.
Nearly getting to the Champions League.
It's there.
You know what I
Like
mean?
the talent is in that squad, but Andrew somehow sucked all of that talent away. I'd be absolutely fuming if that was my team.
Yeah, it's worrying times. It's worrying times. I tell you, it is. I feel sorry for Forest fans because their owner's done this. Now he's going to have the bottle to say, look, at Christmas, if they're still losing like this, to sack him. Is he going to have? Has he got it to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you have to at some point. Like, you can't let yourself sit in the relegation battle when you're meant to be appointing a manager to change what's happening. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to look at Edu's going to have to look at himself because he decided to change. He's the one who wanted to change. I want to play attacking football. That's going to fall on his shoulders, I'm sure. Would he keep his job? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's interesting. But yeah, we'll move on. As it's International Week, guys, we thought we'd look at the England squad because there were... I think we need to scrutinise this England squad, Lee. Talk to me, mate, because what's going on here?
I think we need to just... To start with, we do need to address the fact that Tuchel has come out and explained the decision, which is last international break, he picked a squad that he found worked very well and so doesn't want to deter from what he had. The issue is, I think that we can't ignore the fact that form from these players has dropped so dramatically. And if you're an England player currently playing, let's just say Jack Grealish, because we talk about him too much, maybe. How is he sat there now looking at, I'll just say it, Jarrod Bowen, as an example, like a relegation candidate.
Jarrod Bowen's a good player, but he's not on form.
No.
Let's put it that way.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These are all good players, but they're not all informed players in this England squad. So when you've got Jarrod Bowen compared to Jack Grealish, how can you honestly defend Jarrod Bowen at the moment when Jack Grealish is doing what he's doing? And apparently it's because he liked the last team. But that argument can't stick because what if we perform well against Wales, like on Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember when it is, and then Latvia, which, let's be honest, we should beat. So when this team... Yeah. But if this team performs again and let's say we get 2 clean sheets and 4 or 5 goals, does that mean next international break this is the same team?
Every time he chooses a team, I'm confused. The first couple of squads he's picking Kyle Walker and he's picking this, and every time he squads he pick. Okay, every manager is 1 or 2, but this team has got a lot of players that are off form. We're looking at Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, 1 goal so far this season.
1 goal contribution all season. Missing sitters as well. How's he in the squad? We're looking at Morgan Rogers. We've discussed it before. Morgan Rogers and Ollie Watkins for Villa last year had 40+ goal contributions. Between them, 1 this season.
Yeah.
We're looking at Jordan Henderson. You know what? I've been having a go at Jordan Henderson, but he has been good. He hasn't. I don't know if he's been good enough to get an England squad. You talk about assists against United and Chelsea. He has been playing well for Brentford, but me personally, we should be moving on. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think we should be moving on. Great guy, but he gets so much respect. It baffles me. There are better football players currently playing in the Premier League. He doesn't play 90 minutes week in, week out, and so to take him there. Surely we're prepping this as our competition winning England squad. Like, Tuchel's here to win the World Cup. At the end of the day, that is his job, is to win the World Cup. So although I think that's a ridiculous thing to set your sights on, because let's be realistic, it's England. If this is genuinely how he's prepping to go to the World Cup, are you honestly telling me that right now, if he was to write his list of the World Cup squad, Jordan Henderson's in the starting squad?
It seems like it is. But he keeps on saying, Jordan Henderson's in the team for his experience and his leadership. What if you're England captain, you're Hurricane? What are you thinking by him saying that? Are you trying to say I'm not a good captain?
That is the thing, though, isn't it? Because you have
That's
captain.
What he says every time.
We
have Jordan. We have Jordan for his leadership qualities. So what's Hurricane captain for then?
Yeah, I think it goes all the way through this list.
But But you've got captains there. We've got Mark Gay, captain of Palace. We've got Reece James, captain of
Chelsea.
Sorry, Chelsea. Example.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, who should be captain of Arsenal.
Yeah.
Got Harry Kane. You've got Saka, who's captain of Arsenal. Weird.
And Jordan Pickford as well, captain of Everton.
Jordan Pickford as well, another captain. Even the goalkeepers. Looking at the goalkeepers.
I was about to say that. If you look at the goalkeepers as well, it's an addition there. You can say the same what I've just said about forwards. Say the same in midfield. You can definitely say the same in defence. Goalkeepers, you've got Dean Henderson. I think fair enough. Jordan Pickford, again, fair enough. Jordan Pickford's a talented goalkeeper. He's been so consistent in the Premier League. He's very well for England. But James Trafford played 3 or 4 games before he was replaced.
Had a couple of calamitous.
And they were highlights of you could put laugh tracks behind some of the stuff he was doing. And then to think that he's being picked over Nick Pope, you can't argue age because Jordan Henderson gets picked. So it's nothing to do with Nick Pope's age. Nick Pope's a fantastic goalkeeper who still plays for Newcastle, who are qualifying for European football. So
playing Champions League football. How's he not in the squad?
I don't understand. But James Trafford is now second choice at City. So
playing backup, not playing Premier League minutes. But then Nick Pope, who's playing Champions League football and starting the Premier League every week in, week out, he's not in the squad. And the thing about it, he's not even just there. He's actually playing well.
Exactly. He's doing well. See, my issue is I agree with what Tuchel's done, but it goes against what he should be doing in terms of, like, he said he only wants to be here to sort of win it. He's not really looking out for the future. Well, I think Trafford should be involved in the squad because surely Trafford is our only option and number 1 in the next 5 years. So, like, you want him there, but then Tuchel says he's not doing that. He's not preparing for that. He's preparing for the World Cup. Well, that's not the 3 best England goalkeepers.
No. Pope should be in there. You should be doing. You should be letting James Trafford play for under-21s, gaining more experience, getting more games under his belt.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. Games. That's what makes you grow.
You can tell him that you can't pick him if he's not a first-choice keeper for his club, which I think is an absolutely fair thing to say. Because you would say the same if it was about an on-field player.
Yeah, I totally agree. Looking at the defenders, I'm looking at Dan Burn. Probably at the moment, he should be in there. We'll give him that. I don't think he shouldn't be starting in my eyes, but he should be in the squad. He deserves his place in the squad. Mark Gay, definitely. Reece James, if he can stay fit, but he's pulled out now anyway. Konza, I don't rate Konza myself personally, but once again, he's playing Champions League football for Aston Villa. You can see why he's picked. He is in the elite, European elite competition. Skelly, fair enough. Gerald Konza, Bayer Leverkusen are struggling. I don't know how he makes the squad. Jed Spencer's in the last squad, fair enough. John Stones has injury problems. Like, left backs, where's Tariq Mitchell? Why haven't we given Tariq Mitchell a chance from Crystal Palace? What is it, small team problems or what is it? He's got
this is the
Gay there.
If you've got Mark Gay there,
he plays alongside him.
Mitchell, exactly. Helps. That's what I was going to say. Like, it works. Surely that's helpful to have 2 people that play together week in, week out. Put them in the squad together. Play Mark Gay on the left. Play Tyreek Mitchell. Why isn't that better than playing a player that doesn't play left back? Dan Burn shouldn't be looked at as our left back option.
Never.
He's a fantastic football player, but England do not play that way. We need a left back that can go up the pitch. We're meant to be the left back side. Yeah,
I agree.
But honestly, Daryl, like, again, you can go and look at the midfield and you can say the same thing. You've already pointed out Morgan Rogers. Well, I think Morgan Gibbs-White. I think Jordan Henderson. I think Elliot Anderson could also not be in that squad. So actually, out of all of the players there, and it seems so bizarre to say, it's Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who, if people were new to watching football, he's like 28 years old and he used to play for Chelsea. It's very weird. And Declan Rice. They're the only 2 there that I think deserve to be there.
No. I hear you, but I'm gonna have to put my hands up and back up Elliot Anderson. He's my guy. I told you when he won the Euros earlier on with the under-21s. I've rated him from there, and I've seen him, and he played really well. Got man of the tournament in my eyes. He should have. And then for the last 2 England performances, he's got man of the match, playing that withdrawn deeper role, and he's played really well. So based on those performances, I would put him in. But
Okay,
I'm quite shocked that Adam Wharton is missed out as well. I could have easily taken out any of the others, Morgan Gibbs-White or Henderson or Rodgers, and put in Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton is a class player. I'm shocked he's not in.
I think that when you look at the list, I think Elliot Anderson plays a deeper role. So I assume the plan is Declan Rice and Anderson. Then you've got Gibbs-White, Loftus-Cheek, Morgan Rodgers. Well, them three are all very similar in the way that they
They're all
kind
the
of play
same player,
behind
more or
the
less.
striker. The higher level of the midfield. So how do you want to introduce that? And then you've got someone like Adam Wharton, who is very much the Elliot Anderson role. So there's no cover for the Anderson role. There's no cover for the Declan Rice role. And then you've just got three of these sort of like attacking midfield sort of players. Yeah, so it's odd. And all three of them aren't looking fantastic at the moment.
I agree. They make some weird decisions. But with that midfield, talking about with that midfield, we've heard some weird stories coming out. Obviously, there's a big story that Bellingham got left out, but then they're saying, he hasn't. He's obviously come back from a shoulder injury. But do you not think it's a bit strange? We're hearing these stories about harmony in the squad. This is all winning. You expect harmony anyway, but I don't know. He's pointed this out a couple of times. I like the same squad. The last it's a winning squad. Trying to justify it.
He said that, didn't he? He said the last squad played very well, and so he doesn't want to change it to like ruin that harmony. Well, the last squad didn't have Bellingham in it. So what I said previously about if we perform well, does this squad stay the same? When Bellingham's fully fit, back playing 90 minutes week in, week out, and we as in England, have done very well in our friendlies, does Bellingham not get reintroduced because the harmony in the squad's there?
This is what I mean. It just sounded a bit
how long does that harmony last? If everyone stays happy and friendly, because now, wouldn't you put a bit more effort in? Now you've heard this. If you're in that England squad, you think, well, as long as if I
play well, I'm keeping my place.
It's not just I'm keeping my place. Everyone's keeping their place.
Yeah.
Trafford can't ever get dropped. He will never play because we're only playing 2 games. You can't play 3 keepers. How can you drop him? So, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the Ollie Watkins thing. I think we've got better strikers scoring goals in the Premier League who are English.
Come on, Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck should be in there.
Welbeck.
Come on.
If we're here for the here and now, then you can't argue that Danny Welbeck isn't right for the here and now. I also think Eddie Nketiah.
Do you know what? That's not a bad shout, I didn't even think of it. That's a good shout. He's young, English, playing for Palace, scoring goals, confident. Why not give him a shot? We're playing against lesser teams.
We should have, exactly, especially in this. But I think we should do it because Tyreek Mitchell, Mark Gahey, Adam Wharton, Eddie Nketiah, Eze's obviously now moved to Arsenal, but Eze will be in the squad.
That's crazy.
But it's also they know each other. Look at this squad. There's a lot of players that don't play with each other or haven't played with each other. I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a very odd-looking squad. And I asked you this before we recorded. I said, if you took Declan Rice and Saka out of the squad, who is the big player? And I mean financially, like who would be the big transfer? Because Harry Kane, I think, is perhaps too old to be looking at like big figures for a transfer. But who is it?
I'd have to go Eze.
There is like the standout. Yeah. It just seems weird to me.
Rashford, 50 odd.
I just remember watching England growing up, and that wasn't a long time ago. And just almost every single player you would want on the back of your shirt, and it would be a mixed match of who was on the back of people's shirts. But right now, and I'm not going to rule people out because I think that's just unfair, I just can't imagine there's kids sat at home going, I really want a so-and-so shirt. Unless it was Kane.
I was going to say that, and I thought I'm going to be respectful here.
I can imagine Kane because of what he's done for England and that.
Yeah.
But it's just like looking at the new lads. Like, I mean, I don't know how you'd fit some of their names on a shirt, to be honest. There's so many double-barreled names. It's going to cost
because they do it per letter. They do it per letter.
Yeah. Can you imagine the poor parents who has 2 kids that really like Ruben Loftus-Cheek? You're like, lads, come on, a different one. We'll just call him Ruben on the back. Cost you a fortune.
Oh my god! But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how they perform. But Thomas Tuchel makes a few strange decisions each time. We'll have to see. I don't really watch the England games. I might keep an eye on the results and see what happens. They probably just trash them. Really, they should be steamroller in these teams. Really, But you never know, it's England. So we'll see what happens. This Lee, what was your highlight of the week? Football-wise, obviously.
Honestly, and it feels weird saying it, it's going to be the Newcastle penalty because that really was, and I think we'll be looking back at it, that was a weird weird run-up, amazing finish. That's as top bins as anyone's going to go for. And I think it was helped by Sells in goal, moving around so much. And it made it be like, oh, mind games. And then he just whacked it top bins. And it was like, doesn't matter what you can do in that goal, mate. That was going there the whole time. It was great. What about you, Daryl?
I know it's a bit of a deflection and a bit of a. I've got to go Jack Grealish again. It's just
scoring the winner.
Joyful Jack, still entertaining me. Do you know what I mean? Everton, like I said, ending that 19-game Palace unbeaten streak. So, and Everton climbing the table. Jack, you got to be okay. Even if it did deflect off him, why he just did nick it in. You got to be in that position. They're doing well, attacking, playing well. You know. Yeah, that was mine for the week. That's a bit weird from a Liverpool fan. An Everton highlight. How about that?
You keep picking Jack Grealish up as a Liverpool fan.
I have to because I love Jack. I think he's a top player.
I agree.
I'm disappointed for him that he's not in the squad. But the only thing I can say that is with this isn't the squad. As long as he's on the plane next year, and if he carries on like this, he will be. You're not worried about missing this squad. You're missing who you're going to play. You're playing Wales and San, whoever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's not important. Latvia. So it's nothing big, but. As long as he's on the plane to go next year, then I'm happy because even if he's not playing that well now, he should be in that squad. He's a game changer and he can change things. What did you think about Phil Foden missing out? Just a quick one, sorry.
I think I understand it because it's only really been the last 2 games. He's really linked up well with Haaland, but same thing as Grealish. I think if Foden carries on in his current form, next international break, we need to see the players back. I do believe that is Bellingham, Foden. It would be Jack Grealish, Cole Palmer, if he can start getting back into form. Players like that should be in this squad because right now these are not the best England players.
Yeah, I hear you. I agree, but we'll have to see. I don't know if you're watching the England games, will you?
I'll give them a go for the first 25, 30 minutes and see if I can put up with it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I might tune in. We'll have to see if I've got anything else planned.
Yeah, exactly. See if there's not anything else to do that's more fun.
It's more fun, then I might just chuck the TV on, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, Lee. Thanks a lot for joining today, mate.
No worries.
All right, guys. Let us know who impressed you the most this weekend. Drop your comments, your thoughts, and give us a like if you don't mind. Please hit that notification button so all the podcasts will come through to you. And yeah, thanks for joining us on Denied by the Crossbar podcast. Thanks a lot, guys.
See you later.